Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are preparing seasets and cassava leaves soup. So this is cassava leaves. If you have this, I'm going to show you how to use this to prepare soup with seasets. It's actually very healthy and it's also very nice. So I'm adding some salt to the cassava leaves. We'll be washing it, then we proceed with making the soup.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly.
Okay, so I have these leaves here. You need this in preparing the soup. And over here is my cow. You need cow in preparing this soup also to help with the sliminess. And you also need dawa dawa. Dawa dawa, you need this in the soup. You can't do without dawa dawa. And that is the leaves. We are done washing it and we are going to be pounding it. Alright, now we are putting in the cassava leaves with the kanwa and the dawa dawa all together, and we'll be pounding this till it becomes really soft, which you'll be seeing in a bit.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find.
That is me still pounding this. It's not easy making this soup, but it's super delicious. It's so delicious, and it's also very healthy. So if you are someone who loves cheeses like I do, you should try out this soup, and I know you are going to love it. Your family and yourself will love it, and they will always ask for it. Trust me, it's that good. Alright guys, so we are done with the pounding. I don't know if you guys can see how soft it has become now, and this means when you have it this way, it's ready. The cow, the dawa dawa and the leaves has all been pounded together, and it is now very soft. So right now what I'm going to do is just transfer this back into the cooking pot, then
Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. I hate all this overthinking. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver, no more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar, bring me back to where we started.
All right, so these are the dry leaves I was talking about earlier on. So it has sticks amongst them, so you need to get the sticks out of it, then put the powdered into the soup, and you can now boil it once you have it in your soup.
More heartbreaks, tears, painkillers, take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now to where we started out.
Alright, so I've added the leaves into my soup now, and I'm cooking this on a very low heat. You don't want to cook this on high or medium heat. You want to start cooking this on a very low heat. Once you see it cooking this way, forming the bubbles this way, then you begin to stir it gently from within. You don't stir it all together. You stir it this way, and there is no much water in this, so we are going to be adding in a bit of water, which I did, and my camera didn't capture that part. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just whisking this together. If you have the broom, the broom we use in making this soup, please go ahead and use that. I don't have the broom, and my whisk is also small for this, but I'm just trying to make use of what I have. So you need to whisk this together to make it extra smooth and soft. Adding in some chopped onion and some pepper in this for the heat. You can actually pound the pepper with the leaves if you want to, but I want my kids to eat this with me. That's why I didn't pound the pepper with it, and I'm just adding it in this way, so that way at least it can still release its small and a bit of heat into the soup, and my kids can also still enjoy this with us. So I'm continuing whisking it now. You need to whisk this, as I said, to make it smooth and soft. And what I'm putting in is my leftover soup, the same thing I have. It was in the freezer, so I decided to add it to this. You want to whisk this so well, so you can combine the fresh one and the one I had from the freezer together. Putting in some powdered fish now and some shrimp powder. You really need this, at least, if not the shrimp powder, but the powdered fish, you need it in this soup. So in goes the fish powder, and now I'll be adding in some shrimp powder as well, and I'll be adding in some salt as well to taste.
Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. I hate all this overthinking.
And there you have it, guys. The soup is done. See how rich and how beautiful this is looking. It was so delicious too. It's so good. I know you're going to love this. As I said, if you are someone who loves cheeses, and you can get these cassava leaves around, just try it and it might become one of your favorites.
truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out.
Alright, so we don't just eat the cream with the tea set alone. We make some stew to go with it. And over here, I have my meat on fire. It's already cooking, and I removed my fish from it. And the meat is it's a bit tough, so we will be adding in some water and allow this to allow it to cook a bit more till it becomes soft the way we like it. So I'm just transferring this to the other burner, and right here I have my water in a different pot, and we are going to start with the tea set. So I have my corn flour, which I'll be using to make the cocoa for the tea set. Before we stir tea set, you need to make cocoa, and you first need to mix some corn flour with water. Then you pour it into the pot of water. When it's boiling, stir that up. You try to prevent lumps when stirring it up. Yeah. And then you have this thick porridge, which you'll be seeing in a bit. Alright, so our water is boiling, and we'll be pouring in our mixture, our corn flour mixture. When doing this, you need to be super fast. You don't want to you don't want to have lumps in this, so you need to be super fast and stir this really well to prevent lumps. Else your tea set is not going to come out nice. It will come out lumpy, which you don't want.
It's a neon lights, the playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh.
What I'm doing now is, some people, we have two ways of adding the corn flour and the cassava flour into the cocoa we've already made. Some add the corn flour and the cassava flour into the cocoa direct. That is okay. But what I like to do is I mix my corn flour and cassava flour again with a bit of water to make a thick and creamy paste. Then when the cocoa is boiling and it's time for me to add it in, I just pour it sorry, what am I saying? I just pour it in at once and stir it up, and that way I'm able to prevent lumps, and it works better for me than putting in the powdered cassava and maize flour into the cocoa. But just do what works for you. Do what you are okay with. This is how I'm okay with, and that is how I've been doing my tea sets.
Empty hearts and neon lights. They're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to.
Alright, I don't know if you guys can actually hear me because it's raining now and I still have to do this. I just hope you guys will be able to hear me. Other than that, you just watch what I'm doing. So right now the cocoa is boiling and we are getting some of it out. Then we add in the thick mixture of the cassava flour and the that is it. We just add this in now, give it a stir, and once I'm doing this, I've put off the fire because the cocoa was boiling so much, which is what you want. So I've put off my fire. I'm gonna give this a quick stir. You need to stir this so well, as I said, to prevent any lumps from forming. And once it comes together, you can now put on your fire and continue stirring your tea sets.
Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. La 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 la. Oh, oh. Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers.
I've been stirring it for quite some time now, and right now it's time for me to add the cocoa we fetched earlier on back into the tea sets. That is how we do it. And then once you add it in, you give it a quick stir, then continue stirring your tea set. And this way we are almost done with it because the cocoa is already cooked and the tea set too is halfway cooked. So we are almost done with this.
Empty hearts and neon lights. They're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Empty hearts and neon lights. They're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I
So guys, our teaset is done. I'm just dishing it into my bowl, and the rest I'll just tie it into a food safe poly bag, and we can save the rest till later use, because this is actually a meal prep also. As you can see, the green leaf soup, it's a lot, and the teaser too is a lot for my husband and I. So it's meal prep plus dinner all in one. Yeah, so I'll be tying the rest of the season, leave it on my countertop. Once it cool down, I'll put it into my fridge, and once we are done with what we can eat with the soup, we put the rest in the freezer. And each time we want to have teaset, you just bring it out and you have your teaset. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're still watching up to this part, please don't forget to subscribe, give me a comment, like, share, and yes, please do well and subscribe. And right now we are starting with our stew. Our meat is done, and we'll be frying it a bit, not too much. You don't want to have it so dry, but you need to fry it a bit. That way you enjoy it so well with your stew, other than naked meat. Yeah. So what I'm doing right now is frying the fish first, after which I'll be frying the meat. Then we'll continue with our stew.
Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly, and I tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. I hate all this overthinking. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me.
So our meat is done frying, and we are adding in some tomato paste now. This particular stew, you don't really need so much tomato in this. It's it's um it's in a form of liquid, not too sewy, not too sewy, like too much tomato in this. You need just a bit of tomato, because you still need this to be in a liquid form, because the green soup is thick and you need this to be in a... So I'll fry my tomato paste for a bit, add in my homemade tomato blend or chopped tomatoes. Once it cooks up a bit, then you add in your water, your meat stock, your meat, and your soup is basically done. Your stew rather, it's basically done. And you'll be adding a bit of dawa into this stew as well, because as I said, this particular soup, you need dawa, you need to smell the dawa, and you need to taste the dawa to know how good this soup is. It's not going to taste the same without the dawa, so you need the dawa in.
Oh, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. I hate all this overthinking. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me.
Adding in my meat stock now. So I'll be adding in the meat in as well, because you need the meat to be a bit soft and to soak up the juices of the stew, and it's nice that way. And guys, this is it. We are done with the teas, and this is how it's looking. It was so delicious, and looking at this right now actually makes me want to eat this. So please give this a try, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe.